Greetings, guys. Brandon here. And so the other day, I was watching a streamer by the name of Dono125, and he's been playing on the current ladder. And I find him to be pretty entertaining to watch. And it's not because he's super elite or anything like that, but simply because he seems to be enjoying the game and just having fun, you know? And that got me thinking to the different types of Diablo 2 players there are. And I thought I'd kind of go over the different types of players that I've encountered personally on my journey. So I'll separate these by online and offline, and we'll start with the single players. First, we have the speedrunners. And there's so many categories here, ranging from any percent, different classes, hardcore and softcore. So we'll just sort of lump them together in the speedrunner category for the sake of this video. Next is the pluggy and go mule type players who enjoy sort of just stockpiling all their gear they find. That way they can distribute it to any other characters they decide to create. Next we have self-found players who don't use pluggy or go mule, and they don't use the ladder rune words, and it's more of a sort of purist play style, which I find myself being fond of. And now, this isn't to say that there aren't players who don't go between the different playstyles. We all have our different phases, and there's nothing wrong with it at all. You do you, you know. And I would also like to note, in this section of the offline single-player category of the Matriarch and Patriarch posts on the Diablo 2 single-player forums, specifically the people who post different characters that they finished Hell Bell with. And whether it's hardcore, softcore, twinked or untwinked, you can find all sorts of cool stuff there. Now I'm gonna jump over to the online players. First off, we have /Diablo players. They play on a private server that allows map hack, and it tends to not have any bots. I've yet to try it myself, but it does sound interesting. Then we have the ladder players. And this also has a lot of subcategories, ranging from people just wanting gear to people wanting to climb the ladder, and then people who enjoy playing the economy of the whole situation, or just wanting to play with friends. And next we have the PvPers, which I honestly don't understand the appeal, but hey, you know, whatever you get enjoyment out of. Alright, next category. Sorceresses. They're going to be their own topic altogether, since they're so prominent in the game. Whether you're just using them as a means to an end to get gear, or you actually prefer to play a wizard or sorcerer type in any game that you play that's, you know, RPG-ish. They're pretty much a pillar in Diablo 2. Now, something I've noticed is that some players will use their sorcs and just stockpile gear for other classes, but they end up never really playing those other classes. They just stay on their sorceresses all the time, which is why I found myself enjoying self-found more, you know, because you actually get to play those characters and have those experiences. Now, of the sorceress players, there tends to be two types of magic finding mindsets I commonly see. And the first one is like the blizzard sorceresses, or the cold ones. And they're pretty content usually with running ancient tunnels and mausoleum and doing their Mephisto runs. And the other type is the sorcerers who prefer to have infinity on their mercs and break the lightning immunes. And they can just run everywhere with that setup. And usually these players can't see why you wouldn't do this. And it's kind of like the same mindset of like hammered-in players, it seems like. And you can't blame them, you know, they just want to use the best tool for the job. Finally, I'm going to end with the personality types that I tend to come across, whether it's from the days when I played on Battle.net or watching Twitch streamers in chat more recently or something. First, you have the braggers, and they tend to talk about how much they used to have a few seasons back or how strong their character was. I'm not sure why I see this type of personality pretty often, but it's definitely represented. Next, we have the min-maxers. Now these guys, they try to, you know, make sure they hit all the breakpoints of whether it be faster cast rate, max block, faster hit recovery, etc. They try to fine-tune things exactly. Another type we have is the magic finders. Now they don't care how low their survivability or damage is. They just want to cram as much magic fine on their character as possible, and they swear by it. And then you have the classic nostalgia players, and they'll tell you about how strong Bone Snap used to be on a Whirlwind Barb, or how awesome Nova Sorceresses used to be. And then finally there's the elitists, and they don't really seem to be interested in playing anything except the strongest build or the strongest class, whatever it is, in PvM or PvP. And it's kind of hard for them to grasp that you might want to play something for fun when there's another class that can do what that class does, but just with higher damage. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed listening to the different types of Diablo 2 players I've encountered. And there's the type that you see frequently, put it in the comments. I'm sure I forgot some obvious ones, but what can you do? All the best, guys.